Hello, I'm Tammy Holloway. Nice to meet you all, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it. My husband Nathan, of course, he took Ian out, so they'll be back shortly, but they're here for support, moral support. I did leave a few packets on the tables. I don't know. There's one of our newsletters, and then there's a packet that's got a few papers on it that kind of can help you follow through as I speak about Snack in a Backpack. Many of you may have heard of the program. Maybe some of you have not. I'm trying, doing my best as an organization. We're trying to spread our wings, so to speak. One of the ways we've done that, one of our board members presented an idea, which was the 365 Club. And it was a way to kind of get businesses on board to help run the program by donating $1 a day. And at the same time, we present them with a plaque. And the plaque says their name, we've joined the fight against childhood hunger, period. So my idea was, we have hunger everywhere. You know, all over the United States there's hunger. We have a lot of visitors that come to Blue Ridge. So these visitors see these plaques hanging in their businesses, and they take that information home with them and hopefully spread the word and possibly start their own backpack programs. Backpack programs, I'm not sure how many years they've been going, but they're all over the place. You can find backpack programs in many places, and Gay Walton, who is the founder of Snack in a Backpack, started the program in 2009, and she has grown it. Started off by feeding 60 children. We are close to 450 children that we feed every week. The meals we provide, pretty much 3 meals a day, Saturday and Sunday. They get 2 non-perishable milks, they get 2 cereals, they get macaroni and cheese, they get a can of beef stew or some sort of like Chef Boyardee type meal. They get 4 granola bars, and then lately, because we got a pallet free, they're getting fruit snacks as a treat. And Mercier's Orchards donates close to $10,000 in apples every year to the program. Every child gets 2 fresh apples in their bag. We recently switched from applesauce to pudding. Pudding was the general item in the bag because it was preferred by the children, and it was better as far as the balance for what the kids need for the weekend. And so we decided to make that switch. The food bank just didn't happen to have the pudding anymore, so we went to the pudding, and the Ingalls here locally at Blue Ridge is gracious enough, and they always sell it to us at a good cost. So that was a good switch there. So that's the entailment of a bag for the kids. And I'm going to go into a little bit of what we are, actually, which is the first sheet on here. It tells you a little bit about what Snack in a Backpack program is. Our focus is actually nutrition. And this is why the cost for our program is so high. The food we buy from the food bank are specific items, and we've got anywhere from 15 to 25 volunteers that prepare these 400 bags every week. And of course, you can look at each bag as like a 4-pound bag. So 1,600 pounds, if you want to visualize it that way, goes out every week to these kids. And this is during the school year. We accommodated 17 kids last year for food allergies. Now, the good point on that was I was able to make a connection with some of the food advocates in the area, and they were able to provide us with some allergy type, stuff for these kids, like the sun butter and stuff like that helps kids that couldn't eat peanuts and so forth. We also accommodate West Fannin, an entire school that is peanut-free. So we provide peanut-free granola to every child in the backpack program over there, so that to lower the risk for the children who have fatal allergies to peanuts in that school. So that's an accommodation that we continue this year. Luckily, we were able to lower the allergies. I did provide I made them provide a doctor's note this year for allergies. And that was something I discussed with a lot of our donors and with our board members, because I didn't want to cause deterrent, but at the same time it was a high cost. It cost close to $4,000 last year, which fortunately we received an anonymous donation for just that amount at the end of that year, which was very, very helpful. However, now we have 3 allergies. Of course, we have the entire school that we accommodate, but this is, we're able to get them fruit bars at the food bank for relatively the same prices as we get the others. Every 2 months, Chattanooga Food Bank brings us our delivery. So we're looking at about 3.5 tons of food that comes to us every 2 months at $8,000. And I had one of my volunteers tell me recently, said, you need to show this invoice to people. Because I walk around, we're 100% transparent. I share everything about Snack in a Backpack with our volunteers and our donors. And $1,000 a week is what, even though you're looking at $2.60 a bag, that's the cost for feeding these children. And so, that's something we work hard as an organization. Our volunteers work hard at getting the word out and getting our mail outs done and getting our fundraiser put together, which is coming up in February. The Chattanooga Food Bank, I don't know if anybody has ever been there, which possibly not, but just so you know, they actually have an entire wall that's exclusive for backpack items. So like all the stuff we get is in that general area. And they built that up so that the nutrition could be available to the kids instead of the Little Debbies and stuff that has that 0 calorie value. And that was one thing Gay was very adamant about. She wanted to make sure that these kids got nutrition as well as just getting fed. So we'll move on to our history timeline. Like I said, Gay took over, she started in 2009. Now, you go all the way down to September 2015, and that's as far as I got as far as updating it. But I will tell you that in September, we started Bags for Babies. Okay, our mission is to feed the kids. Okay, a backpack program is specific for school children. Bags for Babies takes care of the toddlers and the babies now. So now we have 40 children in the Bags for Babies program, probably about half and half. Some of them are toddlers, some of them are babies. And we have received some great donations from a lot of local folks who have come in. We had a couple come in and they walked in with a $500 receipt from Walmart. They had baby food, they had diapers, they had wipes, they had it all. And so when we do the Bags for Babies, we not only do we provide them with the regular nutrition, we also give them whatever stage food they're on, the size of their clothing, and the size of their diaper. So Bags for Babies is a little bit more complicated, so it's been an adjustment for all of us, but we do it separately from Snack in a Backpack. We'll pack our regular bags, and we'll actually go in a whole different day and finish out with the Bags for Babies program, which has been a wonderful, we receive a lot of good compliments from the families and from donors. So that was a good addition to the program. We do a fundraiser every year, and that's coming up, it's going to be our 5th annual, Bringing the Blues to Blue Ridge. Music, entertainment, we have a silent auction and a live auction, and it helps, the program along, because like I said, we don't receive any government funding. It's all private and businesses that help us stay on our feet. So we are very thankful for the community, it's very supportive, and things like this that helps us get the word out about what we do. So we appreciate anybody just spreading the word that there's children out there who have a need. And a lot of these backpack programs are out there for them to utilize. And then I have, what does Tammy bring to the program? I put this together because when I took over last August, I wanted to make sure that I stuck with what it is that I said I wanted to do for the program. When Gay had a need, and she had a family that was sick in Florida. She needed somebody to take over the program. So when I took over, not only did I just say, yes, I want to help the kids, I also said, oh my goodness, I want to make sure this stays and goes forever. So, being that I'm taking over the program, eventually this program, will move on to somebody else and somebody else. So I want to make sure that it has its stability to be able to continue year after year. So I push forward, I bring to the table a lot of experience in just volunteering, in accounting, in leadership, and areas that help with spreading the word and so forth. Now, our board is, one of our board members actually is the musician for our events, for our fundraiser. So he brings to the table the music, and the musicians that come along with him come up, they do it for free. They come up for gas money, that's it. And they do this performance, and they bring to the table quite a bit because they're very actually well known in their area where they're from. So that's very helpful. We expanded with the Bags for Babies program. We started classes in the summer. We did a couple classes at Mercier's that were nutrition. We did Fun with Blueberries, and that was, the families really enjoyed it. We did it for the snack families and for anybody that wanted to walk in. We had a little bit of both, and they were able to do a tour out of Mercier's on the grounds, which a lot of these families don't get a chance to do that. So Mercier's didn't charge us a dime. They let me come in and speak and have fun and play with the kids, and we played with food is what we ended up doing, but it was nutrition. We used bananas and blueberries and so forth, and made our little banana boats. So the classes were an addition to the program. We did help a little bit with the summer feeding, and we're working on possibly doing something this summer as well for feeding the kids. But there are other programs that do that already in the summer, so our focus is on these school kids during the year. So I have a 1-year anniversary page that I also provided, and these are the things that I've done from my 1-year accomplishment being with the program. The newsletter that you see is written, distributed, and printed by myself. I do it quarterly. It may not be perfect, but it provides information to our donors, and we're able to get donations based on this mail out that we do with our newsletter. So we're able to kind of give them a rundown of what we've been up to, and it helps provide them with what they need to be able to say, okay, this is something that I want to give to. So this is our newsletter. It comes out quarterly. I met with, I don't know if many of you may know Glenn Harbison. I met with him today. He owns the News Observer. And we're actually going to try a flyer insert, so you'll see those in the newspaper soon. And this is something new. He's really helping us out with it. And the hope is we actually have a Mercedes. Many of you may or may not know Jim Clack. We actually rent from him. He donated a Mercedes to us about a few months back. And it is a 1986 Mercedes convertible. And he just came up to me one day and said, "You see that car up there?" He said, "I want to give that to your program." He said, "I want to give you that program. I want to join your 365 club, and I'm thinking about taking your rent away." So Mr. Jim Clack has been a blessing to the program. He loves the program. He's very helpful. Anything we need, he is right there. The car has been a challenge, something none of my board members or myself has dealt with before, but we've been able to sell the majority of the tickets. We are down to about 250 tickets now, and that's a big part of this, what Glenn's going to try and help us do with this last batch, because we would love to draw the name at our event in February. So that's the goal on the car. Our event, speaking of, is in February, and we have seats available, and it's fun. Me and Nathan, we go table to table. Twice. We did last year. We tried to get everybody at least twice. and we talk to everybody and get to know our donors a little more. And then lastly, I will go over this one form, and then I'm going to share a testimony and probably cry again, so forgive me. I did an expense summary that kind of shows on a pie chart at the very back of that white packet, just to give you an idea on the costs, well, the visual, I should say, of the food versus the program initiatives and the admin. And I define it at the bottom. Program initiatives I basically put as our fundraising, education, bulk mailing, our promotional items like our t-shirts, and costs related to the distribution of the food. So of course, you know, your admin is salary, my salary, mileage, program insurance, rent, and accounting and general office expenses and so forth. So you see where we're at with the food. We're kind of on target. I need to finalize 2015 so I can update this form, of course, to see if we ended up, like I said, we were going to at the projected thing. So 100% of donations is used for food. That's kind of because we spend so much on food. $40,000 a year on food is a lot. So, you know, it's hard, you know, when a donor says, well, does this go towards food? I can guarantee you it does. But we also have the 110 Club that ensures that, which is $110 feeds a child for a year. So they can specify that. They want to be a 110 member, and they get a certificate that says, I'm feeding a child for an entire year. And then they know for sure that their money goes to food. So I'm going to close with a testimonial. And I'll share one that I actually, there's a couple on the back of my newsletter, but I'm going to share one I just got from Head Start. If any of you know Bill, he's the custodian there, and he is also the bag distributor for Snack in a Backpack. So our deliverers come and pick up, and they'll drop off, but Bill is the only one that distributes, and he ensures that because he loves the children. So I went in there the other day to bring them all t-shirts, and it was like Christmas in there. They were all so excited. They loved the program. Bill said, I am your biggest supporter. He said, I'll tell you a story. He said, I go into these classrooms, and these kids' faces just light up when I have them back, when I have them bags for them. And he said, the other day, we did Project December again. Project December provides every child with a brand new backpack that they get to keep. And it was full of 2 weeks worth of food and toys and coloring books. So he said, but I'll tell you, there was one child who kept stuffing tacos into his shirt. So he said the lunch lady went up to him and said, well, you know, you can eat as much as you want. If you're hungry, you eat. Well, the little boy was hesitant, but he looked up at her and he said, you know, I want my brother to eat because he won't if I don't bring him some. So those kinds of stories come to me left and right. This is from teachers. This is from the custodian. This is from people who experience it firsthand. Being that I'm not a teacher, I don't get this from the kids because they're a number. That's all they are to us, is a number. So when a teacher comes up to me and says, you know, I got this little boy, he comes up to me and he tugs on my pant leg, and he literally has fear in his face if Snack in a Backpack hasn't been there yet on a Friday. And he looks at her and he says, well, what if they don't come? I'm not going to eat. And this is what keeps me going. These testimonials, this true to life stuff that actually, you know, a lot of us don't see. We don't think it's in the back of our minds. We don't want to know that it's true, but unfortunately it is. So that's why I do what I do. And I have a boy myself, so I can understand the pain that some of these children and these families go through. So now I'm going to open up for Q&A. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Yes, ma'am.
What do these children do for the summer?
There are a couple programs that go on. Morganton Baptist Church has every Wednesday they distribute. They do a door-to-door. Faith Presbyterian Church does a Seamless Summer, which is actually a government grant. where the food is provided. It's out of Union County now. Courtney Waller is the lunchroom cafeteria, nutritionist. She prepares the food. Aikens Funeral Home helps them with the going and picking up, using the van to pick up the meals. They're hot meals. They come back to Faith Presbyterian Church, and then different churches and organizations help distribute the food on Mondays and Wednesdays. So when I say Snack in a Backpack wants to do something, I'm thinking about trying a Friday. And that's why we kind of helped with Seamless Summer last year, just to test it out. And, it's hard because a lot of the volunteers are gone. People are not available over the summertime. So there's a possibility of doing a Friday thing, which means they have the Wednesday food, they have the Monday, Wednesday meal, hot meal. Wednesday, the bag they provide has like sustainable, maybe a jar of peanut butter, stuff that can maybe last them. So if we could do a Snack in a Backpack on a Friday, then they'd have the Saturday and Sunday like normal. But that's just in discussions. That's something that, if we had the available resources, we probably would provide. So.
How much, like when you purchase from the food bank, how much does each backpack cost you?
Now, when we fill, we actually get donated bags, like grocery bags.
Yeah.
So we fill the grocery bags.
Right.
So a grocery bag that a child takes home is $2.60.
Okay.
That's the
You
amount
buy
of the
most of
food.
your food from the food bank?
Yes. The only reason we started buying locally was because the pudding, they don't carry it anymore at the food bank. So, and the kids really, the applesauce wasn't really a hit. And they were getting punctured, I was finding out too. And so, which it would mess up their whole bag. So we went to the pudding, just been great. There's been a lot of compliments on that, so. Yes, ma'am?
Based on income.
The counselors are my connection. So that is not. In fact, the program is open to all children. But the counselors determine who or who not, who needs the actual Snack in a Backpack. So say the forms go home at the beginning of the school year, okay, and the families will fill them out. Well, if they filled it out on accident, the counselor will say, well, did you really mean this? And then the family, oh, no, I don't need that. I don't need it. So they will, and then if they have some that didn't sign up, they'll say, hey, take this home to your mom. You might, be beneficial to get you. So the counselors are really key for me as far as that goes. Anybody else? Yes.
You've touched my heart, sort of, and I don't know if this is the right place to say this, but I own a grooming shop in Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk to you about maybe having a dog bath and donating all the money to your organization. I think that would help.
I love
anything.
to hear that. Yes, yes.
So get my card
I'll
before
work
you
with
leave.
you any way you need me to. I'll
Okay.
even help you wash.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is that it? Thank you.